guys, it's Ariel from Seattle Coffee Gear, and today I'm just going to be going over some tips and tricks to kind of get the best out of your Chemex coffee brewer. So I've got the little guy right here. This is the 6-cup size. It's just a really simple pour-over method. It's been around since the 1940s. It's considered a perfect brew method, even has its own display in the Museum of Modern Art, which is super cool. This is the classic, so it's going to have a little wooden neck here, and it just ties with a little leather string. And this is going to be the filter. So the filter is actually kind of what makes the Chemex the Chemex. This is what makes the coffee foolproof, like you really can't mess it up. And it is a thicker gauge double bonded paper filter. So what that does is it catches all of the oil, all of the sediment, and kind of helps to eliminate bitterness. So this is kind of considered like foolproof coffee, although there are some techniques that will kind of help improve. And if you are brewing for guests, some things that you can do to show off. All right, so to start with, you're always going to want to rinse your filter, and that's basically what it does is it just helps get rid of any kind of loose paper particles, and it also will help preheat the brew method itself. So you'll do this with the Chemex, you can do this with a V60. It just kind of, helps rinse out that paper flavor, and it also heats the brew vessel itself. That way, when your coffee hits the serving vessel below, it doesn't shock the coffee and cool it off too quickly. And you just want to make sure that it's, kind of got a nice good seal around the sides there, and then the lip is open. If you're brewing coffee tableside for your friends, you want to have something to kind of discard your rinse water in. So I'm actually going to be making kind of a larger batch. So I've got the 6-cup size, but I'm actually going to be brewing enough for an 8-cup. So I've got 45 grams of coffee here, and I'm using a 1:15 ratio. And I ground it on the 20 setting on the Sola Scala. So you want it to be kind of a medium coarse grind. You don't want it to be as fine as you would with like a V60 or anything like that. So you can kind of see the grind here. It's not quite as fine, but it's not quite French press, so it's kind of right in the middle. Okay, so you want to tear out your scale so it starts at 0. So I have 45 grams of coffee in here, so when we're blooming it, you want to double that. So we're going to do our first bloom. It's going to be 45 seconds, and we're going to stop when I see 90 grams on the scale. And you really want to make sure that you are pouring at as consistent a speed as you can. So you're going to want to have a good gooseneck kettle that's comfortable in your hand. And let's say that you don't have a scale, or maybe the batteries in your scale died. The Chemex actually has this little kind of like belly button looking thing right here. So this is the level that you want to brew to, is going to be just above that. So that's how you know when you're going to stop, is when it looks like it's almost there. All right, and we're just going to keep brewing. Now this does take a little bit more time to brew than a V60 or a Kalita would. So the drop down time for this to stop brewing is anywhere between 4.5 to 6 minutes. So like I said, I had 45 grams of coffee in here. I'm going to stop when my scale reaches 675, but we're going to do 3 pulses. So right now I'm kind of halfway there. So I'm going to stop, let it draw down. When I hit the 2-minute mark, I'm going to go ahead and finish my pour. And then you want to make sure that you hit that target weight right around the 3-minute mark, and then you just kind of let it do its thing. So this is not something that you want to rush. You literally cannot rush it. So if you need to get to work on time, just break out the drip pot. This is definitely something that takes time, but it's definitely really soothing. If I ever have a bad day, it's kind of what I do to kind of feel better is I will actually make a Chemex. So it's almost like meditation. It's just really comforting. And you just want to pour in these kind of like good, slow, steady circles. And as I get towards the end, I'm just going to kind of stop doing my circles and then just kind of keep it in the middle, slow down a little bit. Okay. All right, we are at 675. So now I'm just going to kind of let it continue to draw down. As it gets a little bit closer, I'm going to give it a little bit of a swirl just to make sure everything got incorporated into the water. Just going to do that here. And we're starting to approach the 4-minute mark, so we're almost there. Yes, this is riveting, I know. Okay, now it looks like we are going to finish right at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, so huzzah for us. Alrighty, there we go. 4 minutes, 36 seconds. And that swirl definitely did, you know, kind of help slow things down a little bit. And what you're looking for is you want thin sides and a flat brew bed. If you want to show off a little, you can leave this container here and then just kind of set it there to show off the even brew bed. There are another couple of tricks. So if you want to, again, kind of show off a little, you can actually pour into 2 glasses at the same time. This is a bit risky though. I'm going to see if we can get that done. So you've got your 2 glasses and you kind of want to angle it like so. One is definitely going to pour faster than the other, but it's just like a fun little trick if you're into showmanship. Alrighty, so those are kind of my brewing tips for you. As far as keeping this little guy clean, you can pop it in the dishwasher because it is heat resistant glass. It will fit in there kind of awkwardly, so I actually do prefer to clean it by hand. Chemex does make its own cleaning brush that you can use. But what I actually like to do, particularly, you know, if you have some coffee stains in there, is I actually will take some kefisa, you know, the stuff that you use for back flushing. I'll dissolve it in some hot water in here, and that will actually lift the stains out, and then you don't have to stick a brush in there. You definitely want to make sure that while you're cleaning it, you remove the neck and the little leather doodad, so you don't damage it. Let's see, what else can I think of? Oh, it's actually great for infusing cocktails. So I'm not sure if you remember the Seattle Coffee Gear at home videos that we did, but I did a Vesper. So for that, you make your little coffee, your cocktail, and then you've got some coarsely ground coffee in here, and you just pour it over the grounds. It infuses the coffee flavor in there, and then you have a gorgeous serving vessel that you can then pour into your coupe glass. But anyway, that is kind of the little tips and tricks that I've developed over time of, being a Chemex owner. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.